Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's call the roll, please, report.
Albrecht.
Here.
Baslow.
Here.
Day. Gurecki.
Here.
Serrano.
Here.
Bono.
Here.
Mendel.
Here.
I'm for
Let's go through our mission statement. Please read it.
The mission of the Herkimer County Industrial Development Agency is to deliver economic incentives to businesses and industries, diversify and strengthen Herkimer County's tax base, enhance community vitality by supporting job creation, housing, business, and industrial development, and community revitalization. We strive to develop the local economy in an organized, sustainable, and environmentally beneficial manner.
Very good, thank you. Minutes for the December 19th regular board meeting are in the packet 1 through 5. Any changes, deletions, corrections? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve, please. Dan Solano, second Milana, discussion. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Carried. The December 18th public 627 for approval machines. We have a motion for, yes, special.
Sure, just that the mayor and the village clerk showed up for this. They're very much in favor of the project. They seem very active and want to do additional things in the village of Frankfurt, so we thank them for hosting that public hearing.
Those motions are posted in this packet. Do you need any corrections, deletions? Guy? Motion, second by Corey, discussion. All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried. December financial reports are on 8 through 15. Dan?
Sure. What we have in here is our end of year. So there was a couple items I wanted to point out to you all. Professional fees were definitely higher. We've had a few different issues that we needed Mr. Halleck and actually Russ for. So that increase was there. Our insurance was up too because additional property that we purchased. Our marketing and advertising was lower than what we anticipated. Having not as much property available, we didn't require as much of that. Property maintenance was up because of securing 4 corners and doing some additional work in the other properties. And then the other item, property tax, well, that was part of maintenance. And then we didn't have the Masonic on. And overall, we're still in very good financial shape, but I just wanted to point out those adjustments to you all. Also, if you go to page 13, our loan lease balance payments, Beer Belly Bob, Route 51 Beer Belly Bob paid off his loan. That was one with the USDA that we paid off prior, so this money will just go back into our account. And then we have one more payment with Bartlett Excavating, and that'll be done. Loans, in this case, the USDA loans, they really aren't our normal activity, so we doubt we'll go down that path. We've met with the USDA enough to understand the process, and even they say it's not the best of ways to support it. Anybody have any questions?
Questions, comments?
I just thought, when do we do them with our
They're part of the BOA process, and then we also have them for a housing study.
Oh, there's
The county housing study, yeah, so it's a different group. The one for the BOA is the planning group, and then the one with the housing is the housing group. They're out of, the housing guys are out of Rochester. We'll talk about the housing study in a little bit. And then the other LaBelle is out of Albany and Glens Falls.
So is that 17.6 a one-time for this month, or is that a?
It's drawdowns for the grants that we have, so we pay them and then we draw it down. But with the BOA, we committed to the village of Herkimer 20 grand.
Yes.
20 grand out of 200,000. So we will pay some of that, but usually not to the end, and sometimes we can utilize some of the kind services too. The housing study was 100%. That was 50,000, and that's 100% drawdown, and we paid that, and then we brought down. That was the housing.
Yeah, and then HRP.
HRP could be drawdowns for the EPA grant, but we also have used them. Oh no, all of Remington was that grant. Yeah, it's all drawdown grant. So the best thing though about the EPA, to be honest with you, we send in a voucher, and how quick do we get paid?
Sometimes that same day, depending on what time.
It's the best, and HCR is good too. Department of State, Empire State, so that's. But it's still, I mean, it's good, and we don't like to keep the vendors waiting too long either, because that discourages them. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, I need a motion to accept the financials for this month. Alana, second. John, any discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay? Number 6 is the Michael Enterprise Grant. Ben?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. We submitted our APR for the micro enterprise, which is due January 15th. We submitted that. Everything went through without issue, so we are good until next year. Currently, we have 184,000 remaining in micro assistance for businesses after we've done the first 3 drawdowns. So please encourage people to come in and we have an application if they're looking for assistance with their small business. We have 3 current applications that are in the working process for BiteMate, Wake and Bagel, and SurePrint. We just received SurePrint over last week.
They're the ones out of Dollarville.
Yes, Dollarville. They're opening another store in Ilion.
Are they going to keep the one in Dollarville?
Yes.
So Dollarville during our BOA grant, evaluated the properties on their main street, and one of them was an old library. And now they've since opened that up to some shared workspace, and that company moved in. I guess it's going fairly well.
Yeah, it seems like they're doing very well. The Dalesville location, Dalesville is just a small town, so they're looking to expand to a bigger population area.
Do you know what their services are off the top of your head? Because I can't.
They pack and print things for shipping labels. So like a FedEx store or a UPS store, they actually package the materials for people and send them out.
Jen, with those 3 pending,
Mhm.
what would the approximate balance of the grant funds be if those all were to go through?
Oh, let's see. All 3 are requesting 14,000 as low to moderate income owners. So we're looking at a little bit less than 45,000. Like math, that would put us at like 140.
So as tax season approaches, maybe reaching out to CPAs because they have such a broader, outreach as well.
Yeah.
Kind of giving them a
Yeah.
conversation. We could probably.
We just dropped more flyers off at the ledge. We were at a seminar, all of us, on last week sometime at the incubator, and they have our poster up. So that's a positive. The chamber keeps doing it. They keep doing it. Who said they saw it? You saw it under a different program. Okay, yeah, we really need to get this. This is, I can't believe it. And Jen makes it so easy working with them all, and, we don't really, it's not everybody's look at it all. There's a few people that look at it, mostly Jen and the state. We're there to assist. No one should worry about their finances getting out there, anything. We just want to work with people and make this money work. But the thing is, Jen talks to them the other day and they're like, oh, we can't wait for you to apply again. It's like, no, we got to get this done first. But I'll tell you, they've been helping us with so many different things, HCR. So it's good that we keep
We're
doing
gonna get a summer intern, train them quickly on what it's about, and then just sending out in the community, here's a list of companies that may be interested. If it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, we give it a shot, but it gives that person an opportunity to get out in the public and maybe run the ropes of business, and then we can, I mean, it's cheap enough where we can. As someone-
No, that's a great idea.
And
We're happy. We reached out to that Richfield train. I mean, we were reaching out, we reach out too, but you're right. It would be good. We do have someone interested in being a summer intern right now, so I think that would be a definite fit for him. That would have been a great job for one Joe Bono this year.
Yeah, he would have done great.
Exhausted By, I'm sorry, I guess, what's the date that the funds need to be used by?
Oh, October 11th, 2025. So we've got 10 months.
Summer intern. By October.
They start in May.
You have to have applications in by
For,
spring.
Spring, yeah.
Can we extend? Did you ever find that out?
Oh, yes, they said
Oh.
that we could extend, we just wouldn't have that conversation until about 3 months prior to the deadline,
So
so
we'll
around
probably end up
August, we would.
extending too.
And you could just Facebook to a video anyway.
Yeah. more than happy to do it. I mean, just-
Someone could, okay, I thought about
I'd really,
That doesn't matter.
I could film
Yeah.
somebody or just, or you film it, whatever. I mean, to be honest, I'll be more than happy.
Did we give Case trying one back in the day?
I think they were a recipient in
They
2019,
received
maybe?
Yes, they did, and because they met it with adding 5 jobs, they've already exceeded the limit.
What I'm saying is we can go show them. They took it when they were small and now they have 75 employees. Look at what we can do.
They would be an excellent.
I'll create a video with them as a testimony.
Something.
Black and white's nice, it's just that sometimes you lose the advertising and writing is nice, sometimes you lose.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the video black and white, because that's cool too.
The emotion.
I like that.
Okay.
Video. it's
Okay.
really-
All right, it's happening to Herkimer right now, which is Vincent Bono.
Thank you.
Yeah, anything else? We good?
That was all I had, yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Marketing update, Aaron.
So the New York State Economic Development Council, we're going to a conference in February, so I had to create, an ad for the packet. If you didn't see that I posted and sent out, there's a new Masonic tour with everything cleared out.
It's pretty good. And if you have a chance, look at it and we'll walk right through the day and pretty much everywhere. It looks huge.
And he found 14 bowling balls that we're gonna put throughout the facility.
I have to create a presentation soon for John for the 2025 Genesis Economic Development Forum. If you can see in this picture, that's the one I did last year. And then I'm working with Valley Science to come up with, in addition to the Frankfurt 5S North Business Park sign for Senator Seward, because we got.
Where would you put that sign?
It was gonna be like on top of it, but he's not sure how that's gonna work. Not sure yet.
So the good thing is that we heard back from the Senate, and they're gonna allow us to utilize the Senate logo and call it Senator Seward, because a lot of times they're funny about that. But Aaron came up with an excellent design, but when we sent it to the sign guy, he goes, that'll never hold up. Now, how do we know, right? Didn't he say it would blow over something like that?
He just didn't like the logistics of that. There were two designs.
Okay. Oh, but he didn't think, whatever, so the town passed the village passed unanimously, let's rename it, we're all excited, so in the spring. And we'll have Justin Smithson sing the national anthem, we'll have a bunch of people there, but it's good to get back to Senator Seward. Very organized.
Aaron, thank you. Awesome. The ID reporting requirements are on 1619, that's, need to be on a yearly basis, correct? Victoria?
Yes, so I made a list, if you will, of all of the things that we keep track of on an annual basis for IDA projects. So beginning with the rental amount, that is the annual administrative fee that is sent to companies annually. Insurance, we do require that the project operators maintain a certain level of insurance. Most of these things are requested at the time of the AGO report. But if the insurance certificate expires in the middle of the year, I would reach out to the company to get it updated. So we have, current insurance certificates on file. The construction cost, so as you know, we do charge the administrative fee of 1% for projects, which are an estimate of the full project cost. So we do keep track of the capital investment to and the supporting documentation to make sure that the actual project cost is in line with what we're charging for the administrative fee. Annual employment information, as you know, we do track full-time equivalent employee positions for every current project, and we do require that the companies submit additional documentation as to proof of the employee total. Additionally, we ask for the New York State ST 340s. So when we do give companies sales tax exemptions, they report to us as well as the state how much of those exemptions they are using, which we have to make sure is in line with what is approved on the application for the project. And lastly, the payment in lieu of taxes. So we do keep track of what the companies would pay versus what the actual pilot payments are to the effective taxing jurisdiction. As you know, we receive those payments here in January, May, June, and September. And once those are received by our office, we immediately turn them around to the effective taxing jurisdiction.
It's pretty amazing how many times you tell these companies to send the tax payments here for dispersion and they don't come here. And then you're contacting them, like big, small companies, doesn't matter. And they'll say, oh, would you like us to cancel that check and reissue it to you? And I know, but Victoria or Jen, they have to go and contact the taxing jurisdiction, make sure everything is being proper. It's not I'm amazed at the way people follow it.
Those are our requirements. Keep our transcript, if there is something done already, send the copies to the legislature.
Oh, certainly.
So they know what it entails. So they will.
You know, why don't you wait to do that? If it's okay, I'm gonna present to them soon. And we can have that at that presentation. Is that okay?
Maybe go through it.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah, well, I'll bring
Okay.
Victoria too. Thanks, good idea.
Is this updated every year? Is that why the project is updated?
We
or-
haven't talked about it in a while, so we thought it's good. And Victoria, we were going through everything the other day. I said, well, can you break something up so we can let the board know and get it out there? So yeah, we do it all the time, but no, it's not really updated. It's updated for the fact of who pays and what and where we are in the process, yes, but no, we have to do all of those for every project.
30 active projects.
All right, thank you. Item 9, board evaluation summaries on page 20. You can see the results there. Any comments?
I don't think so. We just submitted the AGO report. Right?
The
Um,
action.
Yes, we should do an action item.
Very strong, some concerns, some yellow, couple items. Okay, any other comments on that? All right, your SWOT analysis.
We have to, she just said.
What we do with that. Okay, any motion to approve that? Corey, second. Fine, discussion. All in favor, aye. All in favor, aye, Claire? Any opposed, nay? Okay. Let's go with the SWOT analysis, with some strengths, John.
Sure, so we put together stuff up on the board and I'm sorry, we had a couple of late arrivals, so I don't think they made it out there.
Yeah, they're right here.
Oh, they did? Oh, great. Wow, thank you, Aaron. So This is the beginning of a SWOT analysis, so next month we'll send out weaknesses. And we appreciate the feedback on all of this. If there's anything that you've seen from the emails or want to, you can talk about it today as well. We brought in board if we want to write anything down. One of the things that I think is a strength is our location. I don't think that's on anything in there, but being nestled where we are, God bless you. Being located where we are between Albany and Syracuse and on the New York State Thruway really has helped us in a lot of projects that we moved along. Not too far from the, not too far from downstate, you know, where we have a very good location here. And I think another thing is that everybody, including the board, is very adaptable. So in the past, when we've had to have meetings, we have meetings. So I think those are two strengths that will definitely add to the process. I'm talking right now to a couple different people that when we're complete with the SWOT analysis, I'm going to send it to them and see about having somebody else come in and just work us through the evaluation of it all. So it's not just us talking. It's more like outside of it. But I appreciate everybody returning these too. I thought that was great.
So next is weakness.
Weaknesses, yeah.
And that'll come out.
The next couple of days, Erin will put together like she did the other one, email it out to everybody. And
Should do one a month over the next 3 months or so. and
the
then-
next three, yeah.
And that 3 months of consultant.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll find some, and if the person might only be virtual, they might not come here, but we can still work on it that way. We can either do it as part of our meeting or have a special afternoon or something. I'm happy to do.
Is that sort of like the strategic plan we were talking about?
I think
It
this-
sounds
It's a good
similar,
start.
but I don't.
Yeah, I don't think it's a complete strategic plan. I think it's good to see where we lie to begin with, and then we can look to move down and go back. And then after we evaluate our strengths and weaknesses and threats and, what's the other one now?
Opportunity.
Opportunities, then we can move on to see where we're at and see, you know, how we're doing as a group and move forward or stay the same. It's gonna be up to the board. But what we'll do is collect all these together. If anybody has anything else they want to add, and when we send out the weaknesses one, Erin will send me a copy of all the strengths that we're submitted to.
Everything before. Right. All right, item 11, turbo machines, there's a authorization resolution, John and/or Tony.
I think Tony. You're on mute.
Touchscreen, sorry. From our perspective, this project is ready to go. Draft documents are out. We hope to close it by the end of this month. But the project applicant is trying to coordinate our closing with their lender. I'm waiting to hear back from them at this point in time, but I'd like to get this thing authorized so we can proceed to closing when they decide their lender wants to close.
We had a meeting with Bob Cartmel, the owner, the other day, one of the owners the other day. They're ready to move. The company wants them to get the equipment here to start building the product. They're bringing back a product line from France, the company. And there's a huge opportunity. We're also have put them over to the grant consultant. They're going to work with them directly through us in the county to go after some CDBG funding as well. And they were also successful in a CFA grant. So good spot for an addition there in Frankfurt on Industrial Drive. So we see some good opportunity with this project.
Questions for either? The motion to approve. Lori, second. Alana, discussion.
Where's the line you're doing this in France?
What is it? Turbine blades. So the equipment alone is very large.
Yeah, sure.
They have the skill set to build turbine blades. They've been doing it for decades now. And this just fits into what they do perfectly. They're AS 9100, which is an aerospace approved facility. They're also a ITAR, which is for government contracts and secure facility based on what they do. So they're a strong candidate for this product. To build this product.
Any other questions? Motion made in second, discussion, all in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Attorney management, property acquisition. we should go into
Executive session.
We'll hold that for the executive session. 2025 sponsorships, there's a couple there that we normally
Yeah, just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention again, in the Rhinebeck Economic Development Center. They've been doing more work up in the northern part of our county. They help with small business grants and loans. They also help with women WMBE certification. They also are working with another funding source that's going to help all the areas out. And like last year, we gave them $5,000. I know we could do it with just ourselves, but I'd like everybody to be involved if that's okay. There's that one, and then one is the Genesis Group. Been very active throughout. We will be, I'll talk about that soon. We will be there doing an economic development forum. This Friday is the legislative breakfast up there at Harthill. Fortunately, I can't make it, but I think Mr. Bone is there representing.
What about the comments?
That will be discussed later, if that's okay. Our Genesis is 5K as well. Last year, and I think the year before for Genesis, at least 2 years for Genesis. Might be 2 years for 80, I don't know that too.
If you could clarify, they're both at 5, it doesn't
Yeah.
show with
I'm
you,
sorry.
so
Yeah,
they're both at 5,000.
Any, opposition to giving them 5,000 each? Hearing none, I'll take the motion. John, second by Corey, they both each to get 5,000. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. The audit, item 14, from Bowers and Company, it's our annual audit, again,
I really don't. Victoria.
So we did receive, the audit scope and objectives from Bowers and Company. It's fairly standard for what we've been working with them since, 2020. However, the price did increase, 4% to 18,200. But that is a lot due to some new regulations that are coming from the generally accepted accounting standards. For a total of 18,200 for the IDA.
It's a lot different than when we started and it wasn't a corporation. It's amazing. And, I talked to some other ideas too. You talk to guys down like in Orange County and Green County and they go, how much? Who can we call? Because it's, but then when we get down there, they're like 25, 28, 30. And I'm like, oh my God. It's another cost of doing business. They've been very good with us though. Victoria and Jen talk with them year round, which a lot of other firms, it was funny because I talked to some other groups, so did Victoria. And they won't let you call them throughout the year. But we think it's an advantage, so we know how to put the thing and where to place it and how to stay on top of things, so. They're coming February. Yeah. they're gonna come to our meeting in February. I'm sorry, Ann, you were gonna ask a question.
No, I was just wondering if we're required to bid it out periodically. If we were to bid it out, and anybody knew what the initial cost would be expensive, they tend to, I'm sure we provide them with a good material.
Oh, very
I'm sure
good.
there's, so efficient at this point.
So we had a call with them and said, it's very efficient. by the way.
I can imagine it's efficient at this point.
So when I get on the call, the first thing I say is, what are you doing charging us so much? And those two get a little like, oh, yeah, here we go. And then I start asking, I said, I gotta know, why so much? Well, to be honest, we give you, because of the size of your county and everything, some type of discount. Well, we appreciate that. And they do Jefferson County, which they charge more for. And Jefferson County does not have more projects than this. They actually have a lot less than we do.
Probably because you're not providing as good of a package. Information
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and so we're pretty good with them and they're very responsive and they bring in another person to evaluate us too, which is important with the ABO. It's not just we deal with, we have one point of contact, but that's not normal, you know, they move around the auditor, so we make sure.
I know the legislature really concerned right there. I think there's a rule that within, after 5 years, they have to designate a new agent.
It's
Yeah.
free.
Is it 3? Maybe it's 3.
Yeah,
So,
Because,
within the same.
because you don't want to be audited by the same person.
that's not
No.
what the point I would.
No, I understand.
Yeah, and it's
That's the
prudent,
only thing I would.
prudent to do, make it fresh eyes.
It's really good though that they answer the calls and we have stuff throughout the year, so it's not that disaster at the.
And
Okay.
this does not include the actuarial.
No, but how much was that?
That 1,300, because they used a rollover, so they used all the information from the year prior instead of having to start from scratch every other year.
Yeah.
It's a rollover.
This is separate from the, development. plan.
Yeah, yeah, that's the next one.
All right, so let's, use a 4% increase,
Yeah.
any discussion on that, or comments? Give a motion to approve that 18.2 for hours. Lana, second, John, discussion, all in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay, carried. The, local development work, or again, the price and amenities.
What is it again?
9,000 total.
Thousand.
Mhm.
So 9,000.
$9,000.
And the reason why we're doing it here is because right now we'll be coming for that, so.
Okay, any comments, questions? Need to approve that 9,000 to the LDC. Cory, second. Alana, discussion. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay, carried. Item 15, uniform tax exemption policy for child care, page 4658, John.
Yeah, so the governor and the state came down with a mandate that we have to include now, that the proposed project will include on-site child daycare facilities. It's hard to put a number on it right now. We do work with MBR on our cost benefit analysis, and we spoke with them, was it 2 months ago at least, Victoria? We're hoping to get it. What? Okay, geez. So we're gonna have to add something in our cost benefit analysis to do what that is. That's not available yet. But it was mandated that we put it part of our application. So within the application, we just ask if they're doing that. It's really. And Shannon, correct me if I'm wrong, if you saw anything different. But right now, there's no number or anything to attach to the child daycare facility, correct?
Correct. It's just a consideration. So a project is not required to provide on-site daycare, but it would be seen as a plus probably if they did.
But we don't know how to vote on that plus, do we?
Is the plus defined?
No.
Sorry, what do you mean vote on it?
Well, like to add to it. So if we said, okay, you get 5 more points, or we'll look at your pilot and give you an extra 2 years or anything like that. There's no justification or no penalty or prize if you have a child daycare facility at your site.
Yeah, I wouldn't categorize it as a prize, but you could maybe, structure the recapture provisions differently, like a little bit less over time, or we could add a different category to your pilot. For now, we just added this factor because that's what's required by the statute.
Just have to define them then? I mean, we can't just arbitrarily. If we add a component to our application. It's
Just
just,
checking a box.
right, but I guess so I understand it as if it's considered a plus, it's considered a. Something that we would provide a little more leeway, but it sounds like we have full right to figure out what leeway we want to provide them.
Well, right now, the statute's not saying we have to do anything with it, just put it as part of our application, correct, Shannon?
Yeah, it doesn't say that it needs to be part of the application. It just is a factor to be considered by the IDA. So, for example, if you had a project that applied to you that, wasn't gonna provide on-site child daycare and it wasn't gonna provide any public benefits and it was asking for astronomical amounts of sales tax exemption, et cetera, like this is an extreme example, but these are factors that the IDA can consider and potentially say no to a project, right? So this is just one of the factors that you're including in your analysis of the project. And if you don't think a project holds up, then you could say no to it. And so this is just added as a factor that you're considering when you receive an application.
But we don't have to add it to our application at this point, it sounds like. Did I hear that correctly?
We do have it in there though as a line under, we did add it in here under when they talk about, please note any other or any proposed fringe benefits for jobs to be created by job title. In this section also, please indicate whether and the extent of which the project will provide on-site child daycare facilities. So what my thought is once we get with MRB Group, you know how we have that software that does the cost benefit analysis when we do? He's gonna somehow, because we talked with the owner a couple of months ago, somehow is gonna put in there some type of formula that'll add to that cost benefit analysis.
But based on what?
I don't know yet. He didn't have an answer when we first talked. So when we're at the conference, that should be discussed there next in 2 weeks.
So it sounds like, and again, maybe I didn't clear, it sounds like at this point, we do not have to add it to our application. I think that's what I heard Shannon say.
Well,
It's not that you need to or you do not need to, but the IDA is now required to consider it. So in order for you to consider it, you need to know whether the applicant is going to do that. And the best way to get that information is to ask a question in your application.
Crazy.
I would say.
We have to consider it, but we don't have guidance.
Big influence on the project.
it can, but right now we don't have numbers to rate anything. I think with that software, when he updates our current software, that might give us a better handle on what the states look. But they often send down these things without true guidance on anything. You know, and then you have to, but then we'll get audited and they'll say, well, what do you do about childcare? Oh, it's right in here. Okay, you're good. And that's all they care about.
Then you have different IDAs giving different added benefits and then it's not
Yeah.
as consistent.
No, like in anything though, other IDAs can give different points towards different things.
It sounds like right now it's just suggested.
Yeah, and it's just a mandate that they put through.
Not,
Yeah.
there's no financial.
Jim, have you ever dealt with anybody in this area that does that daycare?
No, but we haven't really, pushed it, like, I think, and we talk about, the Russell Farm during executive session. But there could be opportunities at some of the bigger places that come in that will offer something like that. And I don't think we've ever offered, and we probably should have, when we talked to them about that the county would cover, and so would different groups, cover training for those individuals. So you put them on your payroll and we'll help you with those trainings to help that child care there. I don't think we ever discussed that either with them. So that might open some doors for companies, but they have to be larger in size, like Amazon or Tractor or Fountainhead, somebody like those guys.
The problem I see is an employer, whether you're big or small, well, bigger, man. You say an Amazon or a Fresh Stop, for instance, and they have 500 people working. How big does your daycare have to be? And who do you select? How do you have a lottery for 25?
But that's
And then the
their
rest of them are
issues.
SOL, you know, I mean.
It's as big
I
as the
know,
classroom.
I understand. So what incentive is there for them to help 25
I think
people
that's
and the
huge.
rest of them don't get any
Including-
benefit? You know, that's all. I'm just seeing that as a problem. Maybe they think of
That's a
that.
workforce these days.
If you, wait, I want to ask you, if you at the bank had a childcare facility there, would you bring them to it, or would you rather have them at another location?
No,
See, so that's, I'm thinking the same thing, because I'm
it's
thinking,
just preference, but the others don't have that.
From the other perspective,
ability to make a choice.
so I think you'd see more of the floor workers use that facility compared to executives that would.
I understand, but how you build, it's in essence building a school. Because you got cafeteria, you got rec center and blah, blah, you know, there's requirements. And I think it's one teacher per 7 or 10 students, depending on how their age group, the difference it's less. 1 to 3 or 1 to 7, you know, so it's a job to do that.
Depends on
So
what the company's
how do you choose a
commitment to workforce development.
That's gonna be something
And
that
if your
they,
micron is huge, if you're an employee with, you're an employer with 6 employees, it's not.
I think Micron will have a separate building for childcare, if I'm not mistaken, over what we've seen.
these schools?
Yeah.
They can
Okay,
limit it.
just a,
They can
But I don't
limit
think
it.
we've ever offered training to them or give them that option. If you have employees, they'll put them on their payroll, so now they're, say, a Tractor Supply employee, and they're gonna pay them just the way they would, so they'll come to work and run that just as they would.
so you wanna have down this, do we have to?
Yeah.
Roll call?
Yeah, no, well, I think it's on here as, we're just, due to, 874 of general municipal law, we have to add this, so yes. It doesn't have to be a roll call, it's either yea
All right, I need a motion, first of all, to, go ahead and please, John, for, Alana, second. Discussion. All right, quick, call the roll, please.
Albrecht,
Yes.
Bethel,
Yeah.
Gurecki.
Yeah.
Toronto,
Yes.
Bono,
Yes.
Mendel.
Yes.
Great.
All right, item 16, is better Four Corners training, John enlightenments.
So I got a phone call from the new town supervisor, Ron Beach, that asked if we would allow training of the firefighters in the Di Christina farmhouse building. We did similar on Russell Farm. I told them we'd have to provide a letter with proof of insurance. I haven't seen that yet, but I wanted to bring it to the board now in case we get it next week. There's nothing of value in anywhere that would hurt anything. They usually don't, until we're ready to tear it down, they won't smash windows and roofs and all of that because, we have to keep the building secure. But it gives them an opportunity to do some fire training. It looks good.
Tony, look over that.
100%. Oh, yeah, just like he did in, Russell Farm. So, I mean, it's up to you all, but I think it's a good thing to do. So,
If they're not gonna break windows, they're just gonna interior, smoke up a room with a fake smoke and stuff like that. Yeah,
oh,
well, it
yeah.
makes the building look crappy, if they're gonna break windows, we don't want that. I mean,
We would, like in Russell Farm, and we'll talk about that a little later, but like when Russell Farm's ready to be removed, that building, the new owner already agreed to allow them to go in and do that type of thing, where they can go through the roof and all of that prior to it being shut down. But right now, as Mr. Bono mentioned, the Di Christina building is very secure. We have our guy Howie always checking out, make sure we don't have any homeless in there or anything, that are vagrants, and it's, we don't want that, and they understand that too, so.
Is there a marketing opportunity with that? To show how the IDA works with the community and provides buildings and property and partnership and things like that?
Of course, we can take pictures. I've only seen so far the marketing opportunities that all the other funded know that we do. They did.
Yeah, okay.
They
You were
did.
here for that,
we might bring in neighboring agencies too, like Scotty. They usually do that.
Yeah.
And I like it when they do this too, because then it shows a lot of activity there, and that discourages other people from just going and checking it out.
Okay, so, we need a proof for that. Motion, Alana, second. I'll second. Discussion,
Jimmy second. Because it's.
all in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Item
Yeah.
17, the Herkimer Solar and HCCC Solar Extension request.
So, they have both been sold to a new company. They are asking to switch over the, pilot into the new company's name. We are looking to add a new fee because we haven't done this before. What were we thinking, Victoria, 2,000?
It was 2,000.
2,000 per project. They actually, not that long ago, went to the county and said, hey, we want to lower what we're giving to the county for, buying into this solar project. In a sense, they don't need any of us anymore because they've done this. The only thing the pilot does is give them a guaranteed price to pay on property taxes for the remainder of the pilot. So, right now it's still discussion until we get an actual form letter from them, but we were thinking 2,000. We heard, from talking to various people, it's 1,000 to 1,500, but I think 2,000 is more than fair because of the amount of paperwork and things we're gonna have to do, and they'll pay all legal fees. So, and that's done through Hotchkiss Bus.
Questions?
What you do with Sunny's when they change names?
Sun East was, that was prior to we closed on anything, so it worked out fine for us.
John, this is Mark. Can I jump in for a second?
That's not my call, Mark. Let me ask our board chairman,
Mr. Chairman,
Need to see you. I know this is Mark. Go ahead.
with the county, they asked for us to lower it to 10%. And we replied back saying, no, we want to keep it at 16, and they said, okay. So we did not lower it.
Oh, good.
So, thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, any other, question there?
No, it's just discussion right now till we get the actual documentation.
Hey, Mark, while you're on the phone, any comments from elected officials?
The only thing I can think of is all the strategic plans that I've been through are usually done by a third party, especially with the SWOT analysis and any future planning, because kind of like when you value your own property, you have misconceptions about the worth. And a third party can kind of bring you back into reality, either positive or negatively. So that may be something you want to look into.
Third party that's is consultant, is that considered a third party?
Yeah, when we're done getting all those 4 things in, then we'll reach out to the consultant every time.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Have a good day. Hang out here, we're not done yet. Let's go to project updates.
Okay, dual fold. We are converting the restore grant over from development to cleanup and demolish for buildings 2 and 3. We received quotes and everything that met with the state. Okay, we're just redoing the scope of work for the total project. Originally, it was like 30+ million, but with those 2 buildings gone, it lowers the project cost. So as soon as we have that in place, we've been in touch with Empire State Development, and the precedent for that was set in Rome, so I think we'll be okay there. We applied, and the restore on here is the one for the Masonic, right? Victoria?
Yes.
Okay, so we applied for the Restore New York for the Masonic. We had some conversations with that group. Everything looks to be moving forward in a positive direction. Next item is very important to me. I will be on vacation starting actually Friday afternoon until next Saturday, or the following Saturday. I'm going to Florida. I will still have a laptop with me, and I will be looking at emails, and if anybody needs to call, feel free. EDC conferences when I come back. I will actually be there on the 10th. I have a board meeting. I sit on that board, and I have a couple other meetings set up for that day, including I will be at Remington Arms with our cultural resource company in the morning. But then the 11th and 12th, we are down in Albany. On the 11th, the whole staff will be there. Anybody wanting to come to this conference, it's very good. Myself and Jim Bono went to it before I became executive director here. You learn a lot. There's a lot of good informational things. Please let us know very soon. It usually sells out. I think it's almost sold out. Legislative breakfast this year is on the 21st of February. It's a little different. It's going to be with mayors of 5 communities. Mark Butler, Mary Posnowski, Deb Kaufman, Dana Sherry, and John Stevens. Something to break it up and do a little different. Up at the college, 7:30. Once again, I'm emceeing that event. Genesis Annual Economic Development Forum, February 26th. You know, it's the day after our meeting, but let us know if you want to attend. I'm sure we'll get a table for it. It's usually a good event. It outlines, not just Herkimer County, but I see from the other speakers, Oneida County and some regional things as well, Empire State Development. We're moving ahead with the Manheim Business Park Infrastructure Grant for additional $500,000 through the county. We received all the data. In fact, I reviewed the updated grant application this morning. Jimmy, maybe did you get a chance to read it through too? I know you're on that list. It was sent to Mr. Wallace too. That'll help us close the gap on some pricing that, or some funding for the water tank that we're putting into Dolgeville. Did get the support of the school district, the town, the village and the county to move ahead with a PIF for that. Annual audit with Bowers will be at our February meeting. JBF Stainless, Mr. Halleck, why don't you just touch on that for a brief moment, would you? You're on mute.
I'm not sure what to touch on. This is a frustrating misadventure of, it kind of reminds me of those Amazon lease negotiations where we had 12 different teams all pulling in different directions, given information. We've provided and insisted upon an updated project application. We've requested a fee prior to commencing work. From the legal counsel, I've got another gentleman, Mr. Clark, weighing in, started sending documents, but we don't have an application. Half the team is proceeding like they want to move to closing, but the legal and the other half that is supposed to provide the material information hasn't given us anything yet. Feel like I'm in quicksand with them. They seem like they're acting in good faith, but we're not to the finish line.
I can't remember. Did we give them a date of this month?
So
So we,
we're past that.
yeah,
So-
so we're, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
So, Tony, since we're past the 20th, why don't you send them a tenants of the essence letter? And it appears, and I don't know, I'm not going through it like you are, but you're not getting all the right information from the right people. So you're just getting a dump truck of information that doesn't make a difference. Do I understand that correctly? You're not getting the material information that you need, that you've requested time and time again.
I'm not, and John, I think 2-3 times we let them know that today was our meeting deadline. We wanted the application, we wanted the fee before we would move it forward. And as you know, as of 5 o'clock last night, I didn't have any of that. Fair statement?
Yeah, so maybe instead of us wasting any more time like Dan's getting to, the date has come and passed since we received what we've requested. In order to move ahead, we're gonna start from scratch or new. We'll need a new complete application and we'll evaluate the project on that basis. Thank you very much for choosing Herkimer County. Have a great day.
I don't want to speak for the rest of everyone, but Tony's time is,
Yeah,
they should be respected. And he's been very clear, it sounds like,
oh, more
we
than.
need. So when he's running in circles with information, that's not the best use of his time.
From my perspective, and the critical deadline is March 1, which is the taxable status date. I think my preferred approach is to respond saying the agency board met today. We have not received your application. You know, at this point in time, we are starting the process to restore this to the tax rolls. Please let us know if you intend to continue. I don't want to, John, I don't think going back to a full-blown application is the appropriate thing to do, because this is an assignment and they're taking over the job requirements, and we've only got 3.5 years left on the pilot. It's either we cancel it or
Oh, we cancel it, let them reapply. It's a whole new project.
Write that letter, like you say, Tony, just add to it, failure to reply within 3 business days or 5 business days, whatever you're comfortable with. Will deem the project default.
Well, they can
Whatever.
reply easy, reply with the pertinent information is what I'm looking for, but I guess my question is it really that arduous for them to go through a full-blown application?
Well, they could get 10 years, they could start from scratch and get a 10-year.
yeah, but they don't have a project, John. I
They
mean,
don't,
they're-
they're looking for the
Well, he tells everybody he's got projects because he's met with the county, he's met with ESD, he's met with MDDD. He goes and meets with everybody and tells everybody he's expanding and doing all these other things.
You see nothing.
But the information Tony's requesting
Yeah.
relates to the assignment.
Yeah, which I'd rather just,
So that's,
I don't have. a
We
problem.
could, listen, they have the right to assignment, our unreasonable consent not to be withheld. And again, my sense is, I just want to go back and say, you failed to do this, we're gonna start the process. Your assignment application will be deemed withdrawn if I don't hear from you in 10 days.
Any opposition to that? We don't need to vote.
No.
Okay, thanks, Tony.
Eastern, our transmission line, there's several grants that were involved in that. We're gonna talk more about that in executive session. However, the grants, we've reached out to all of the different grants that we have for and seeing what we can do to utilize them for other projects. On February 19th, we are gonna be hosting up at the college at 6 p.m. The housing study, will have people there from Labella, we'll have people there from pro-housing communities. It'll be an excellent event to review our project, our housing opportunity. February 19th, we'll do a blitz on that too. I'm also gonna be applying for Fast New York for the Four Corners Business Park. We have several meetings set up on that park. The company that submitted a letter of intent have not moved ahead with that at this time, and we'll discuss that too. But there are 4 different high voltage lines within a mile of that park, so that park really will support some excellent growth. And we're meeting with GoSemi very soon there, as well as the new head for ESD for Fast New York and Power Up, a new program that's going to be starting. Christian Mercurio, if that name sounds familiar, used to be with Edge, now he's with a very good organization. So we have him in there. Herkimer Boa, the meeting will be in this room Thursday night at 5 o'clock, if anybody wants to attend that as well. We'll have our representatives from Labella, as well as one of the WMDE resources that's included with the BOA contract, to start looking at doing some renderings for the village of Herkimer. I think everything else needs to go into executive session, unless anybody has questions on anything else. I know it's not a lot we're working on, but there's a few things.
John, with the Fast New York, what's the maximum?
Well, the first thing we're gonna apply for is I think it's B. There's A, B, and C, and I think this is B to go after doing the studies on the park and doing the ISO study to make sure that we can support 20 megawatts or more at that park for electricity, and seeing how we do a study for the sewer. Then after that, there are no limitations if it's an approved park. Right now, there's about 200 million in the Fast New York program, not counting the new Power Up program that'll have probably another 100 million. So we see some great opportunity there to develop this park. 78 acres is the sweet spot for them. I've also been approached by NYSERDA looking to do some pilot programs, with our pilot, and some New York State programs in different parks around the state, and they like Herkimer County. We have some very good contacts there. So that park might be a pilot for another program for NYSERDA too, to get additional power there. Well, they'll make it, we'll work with Build Ready like we are in another location. So the Build Ready program will bring all the power lines there, so that we just adapt to that. So.
but will the first grant they apply for conduct a study to understand how much you'll need to bring it shovel ready?
Right now, it's pretty much shovel ready if it's like just a distribution center. We have enough power there, gas there, water there to handle that. If we want to make it more of a high-tech industrial park, we're going to need more power, electricity. So that study would cover the cost to do the ISO study, which is roughly about $150,000.
To open it up to additional.
Yeah,
opportunities.
yeah, for the high-tech park. So we have a very good, so I mean, and he's already been there. Last night he called me and said, I'm in front of the park now. I said, well, I can't be. But so it's good to have people that help us that way. And it's only been good with Fast New York. You went with me. So those people are still at New York, Dave Whipple and Christy Schweppke. But now they brought on another individual to help work out in the field. So it just helps us out.
Okay, that's it for projects. Any comments, concerns?
What's the gas station from?
The chips.
No,
No.
I'm sorry, the quick stuff.
So National Grid finally hooked up their electricity. They're waiting for, I think, the end of last week, not Newport Telephone. Northland Communications was there and hooked up their fiber, so that way for the data, they should be opening anytime now. So they have everything else. They were able to get a temporary permit for their, entrance from DOT, gave them about a 2-year extension. We will take that part. We finally got DOT approval, a signed document from DOT saying we can move ahead with the entrance. So we started that process. We're going out to bid very soon. We just had another call on that. So we'll be going out to bid probably within the month of February, so we can start building that entrance to the park.
I think, just that being open brings a lot of eyes on that project.
Lit up, you notice it.
And so inside the park, that other 4 acres we sold to Stark Industries. He sent it, it was Tony, by the way, his, through Tony. It was, he sent us a preliminary plan of it. We have a meeting next week. Friday, on outlay. He doesn't, the engineer he brought in, they didn't worry about, stormwater runoff or any of that. So we got to work with them a little bit, but the setup looks great. And so that'll be a nice addition to the park. And then myself and Mr. Bono will be going out to Syracuse when I come back to meet with Hubert Brewer on the back 60 acres and a couple other projects they want with us on. So we actually moved the sign that was in the park to the thruway. So you can see it from the thruway now that we have 60 acres. And somebody called us on that too, not that long ago. So I mean, people are seeing that sign driving through.
Is that business gonna be 24/7?
They are.
Only gas. You can't go in. You can just get gas outside.
Probably the same thing.
So within, I think it's 2 miles of that park or a mile of that park, there's over 800 mobile homes. So that was the real, big push for them to move into that park. So that'll help generate, so that might keep them open 24. And they're gonna have a lot that they have at the other one, the chicken, the lobster rolls, the deli, all of this stuff. No, but there's a concentration of population. I'm not looking at that, but if you put 800 homes together, you know how much room that takes. 800 mobile parks takes a lot less space. So you have a more concentration of mobile homes than you do of single family homes. So you have a lot more opportunity for people to come into that home.
I think it's just, you drive by there now and you don't, unless you're just, with that open, with the lights on, people going in and out, they really won't.
Just don't forget, we're gonna have a stop sign there, so don't blow through it. You know,
No,
stop.
maybe
Oh,
I can read.
Okay, anything else? For the good of the organization.
Well, in other words, you gotta put the stop sign there before it opens, right?
No, they're gonna open that now. The stoplight won't happen probably until the summer sometime.
Oh,
So we'll put the light up, we'll do all the entrance work and everything, and then we'll turn the light over to the state.
what do you think is the traffic pattern before that light goes in?
Yeah.
Just for curiosity, if it would work the way it is, but anyway, I want to do it. Anything else? Need a motion to go to executive session for item 12 and other for, under the voice of council. Mrs. Brown, second by Corey, all in favor?
Just
aye.
Tony needs to stay for one item.
Any opposed, nay carried. Tony, you gotta stay for one item. Corey, John, all in favor, aye. Opposed, nay carried. Motion to, adjourn. Corey, Alana, Corey. Any discussion, all in favor, aye. Opposed, carried. We are adjourned. Are you gonna record the